Hi everyone, this is Monday, and I'm going to go ahead and do the poll for Tuesday, just because I have some early morning things that I need to do tomorrow. So we are going to do a self-care card, because with everything going on, it's going to be really important for us to do that. And then I've also worked with Earth Magic deck, and we've set our theme for the week, we've set our challenge for the week, and we've set our learning experience for the week. I do go into more detail with that in the weekly poll, and I do go through and add the links to that video down below so that you have a reference as we work through our week. I have already pulled the theme cards for each day of the week, and I do keep track of those, and we'll go over that in more detail. And we are using Nightmare Before Christmas because it works for both Christmas and for Halloween, and it's just kind of a fun new deck that I decided to pick up just for the heck of it. I've really worked a lot with the Rider deck, and most recently I've really been on the Light Seers Tarot, and that one's just a beautiful deck. It reads very, very well for me, and really, yeah, the energy vibe off of that deck is just awesome. But this one's really fun and just kind of something quirky to work with, and just kind of a little bit different. It's good to keep the energy moving around. So we know that we're working with the desert and the vision quest, and there's these two cards in particular are really working well together in the solitude, getting that, making sure that we're staying grounded through this. We kind of went over the fact that we're going through a Mars retrograde that only happens every couple of years. And some challenges, some hostilities that go with that, some aggressions that go with that, and that's going to stay with us for a while. If I remember correctly, it was, what was that? It started in September 9th, and I think that goes through until, let me see if I have a quick little note on that. Because I go through, sometimes I just do energy readings, and other times I go into more detail with like individual readings, where with the more open general reading, I have a tendency not to go into as much detail, but it's important to really kind of reflect on some of this stuff. So we are looking at Mars retrograde. It is from September 9th through November 13th. And on top of that, Mars retrograde, we're also going to be dealing with Mercury, and we actually already have been dealing with Mercury, Mercury's retrograde, and that that one really has some stuff coming up, and we already have been in its shadow, so we're going to be talking about that more tomorrow. But just that one just kind of touches on the communication, miscommunications more than anything. And that can be everything from electronics to just saying hi to someone. So a lot of people are rather sensitive right now. So the desert and the island, working with solitude and vision quest, just making sure that we're grounded, kind of backing up, regrouping, just kind of take a breath, and making sure that we're also just being very using that third eye, making sure that we're feeling those emotions, allowing those emotions. If we try to deflect or turn off or ignore, they can manifest in other ways. So it's good, if you're mad at something, dang it, that really made me mad, or, that little fucker, or whatever it might be. It is our response to the situation is what we need to be most mindful of. So feel it, but then understand what's the best way of moving forward with it. So just kind of being minding that. And then for our learning experience for this week, new beginnings, and just that energy, understanding that we're constantly going through transition, and this week there's a transition that's going on, so sometimes it's difficult for us to understand when something ended and another thing started, and so there might be some of that going on in your life right now. But take the time, wake up early in the morning or watch that sunset. But when you watch it, kind of watch as one thing ends and another thing begins. That introspection is really important. So, okay, so we have shuffled these up really quick. So this is going to be for Tuesday. And I'm going to kind of open up the energy a little bit here. Hello, Spirit Energy. Thank you for letting me be an instrument to your insights, support, and guidance as we open this message you share with us today. Spirit guides, show me clearly. I'm just going to kind of move these around a little bit. Okay, that one's ready to go. This one will just set over here. This one. Okay, Spirit guides. Thank you for letting me be an instrument of your insight, support, and guidance. Let's be open to your message today. And let's pull this because I forgot to at the beginning. Okay, our self-care, using our hands. So if there's something that you like to use your hands with, you know, when we use our hands, go in and as you're doing that, make that a meditative practice. It's that intention that you put into things, whether you're making dinner, whether you're doing lunch or breakfast, or maybe you're in the garden, or maybe you do some painting, maybe you're even just working on your computer, but making that, bringing your awareness into it and intention into it as you're doing that, and having that energy flow through your hands as you're working with whatever it is that you're working on. So today, we have our card that was pulled for Tuesday. Our theme card is the 7 of Needles, and that was in shadow. And so it's time to face the truth. Need to make sure that we're being honest with ourselves in the long run, and just being brave about it. You know, no beating around the bush with it. It is what it is. Maybe it's something that you've been just not wanting to see the truth. Maybe it's something that hurts. Maybe it's something that's going to be painful. You know, maybe you're seeing somebody whose words and actions are not in alignment, and maybe we've been ignoring it for a while. Maybe we're finding out about something that we kind of knew, but maybe somebody's bringing a message to us. And speaking of messages, let's go ahead and get into some of that, because this is Tuesday and it's the 13th, and Mercury is retrograde now. We've been in the shadow for a little while, but now it's in retrograde, and it's retrograde from October 13th through November 3rd. And so we're going to be, this is the heat of it. So communication in all forms has been a challenge. It's going to be even more so now. because that shadow's been on us, and now it's just like, this is going to be a challenge. We need to go through and we need to use our common sense. We need to slow down, acknowledge that we might not understand or be communicating well. Somebody might say something and we can take it out of context. We might say something and somebody could take it out of context. I can think of text messages and social media applications. It's already a hostile environment in a lot of sense. So we need to kind of think about, what kind of messaging are we really wanting to get out there? If something says something to us and it strikes us as being odd, just understand that we also have Mars in play. And Mars is an agitator. It's aggressive. It's can be a bit toxic, very toxic. So, and with this in play, we just really need to be careful with that. Sun and Mars are in opposition on October 13th. And Sun represents our will, and Mars represents our ego. And so we're going to find things irritating, frustrating. We're going to be attached to our thoughts and our attitudes and maybe not as open as we really should be. We're going to be defensive, easy to take things personally, a demand for validation, and this is going to be both inner circle and globally. So nobody's really immune to this. It's just going to be really important for those people that are mindfully aware of their actions and not allowing their emotions to get the best of them. I know somebody who just had a road rage incident where something very simple became something really big for this person. And the person got out of their car and banged on their window, and thankfully there was a police officer nearby that kind of broke things up. But just being mindful, not everybody is walking in awareness, and the triggers are pretty quick right now. We also need to be careful. We can be very idealistic at this point. We can believe falsehoods so easily because remember, part of Mars, we're trying to detach. We're going with something that's maybe nonsensical, which is why conspiracy theories and that sort of thing are really able to take a hold right now. Not wanting to own our frustrations or our place in our own actions, and so we're trying to expel it, but not necessarily in a very healthy way. A lot of drama out there, a lot of falsehoods. We need to be really mindful of our own humanity. There is overall a collective energy that's really intense right now, and we can either add to that collective energy in a negative way or in a positive way. And there's a lot of negative energy right now, so we need to be careful how we're expressing ourselves and how we're adding to or subtracting from that collective. So reflect on your personal life, your family, society, the systems that are in place. We need to be mindful of what's serving us and what's not serving us, and getting rid of those things that are not serving us. But also being mindful of, are we, in some respects, are we saying the same things as the other person is, just in a different way? And maybe the approach is just a little bit different. And I think because we've gotten so polarized, we've stopped having the actual conversations, and we end up reverting back to talking points instead of solution statements. So anyway, that was a lot of information. I'm going to go ahead and keep that part of this. I'm not going to separate that out, but I will go ahead and supply some little tags down below so that you can forward through if you're wanting to review things again. I'll do timestamps in the down below notes. So Tuesday, our theme card was actually the Seven of Needles and Shadow. And what I started saying, facing the truth, we need to be brave about what we're doing, and being honest to ourselves over the long term. It's very important to be mindful about what we're doing and being true to ourselves, because it does come out. The challenge for today is the Nine of Needles and Shadow. There's that confidence we had just started talking about, not bullying yourself, focusing on our positive qualities, and that just that overall shift in perspective. Today's energy to use is the Eight of Presents, and the Eight of Presents is like the Pentacles, and in this, the needles, those are the wands, swords, and then our potions are the cups, and death is death. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So the energy to use today, we've got the Eight of Presents or Pentacles. We're working hard to learn a new skill, repetition and attention to detail as we go through and we learn that new skill. So that might be part of kind of what we were talking about yesterday, where it seemed like there was some movement, and some very natural movement that was going on, as far as like a new project or a new something new going on. And this might be that practice of working on those little details. And, maybe by the time we get done with these retrogrades, it'll be time to put that new skill set to use in that new project. So good stuff there. We will get through this. Our energy to avoid today is death and shadow. So, and this is, some people get scared. Don't get scared. Death, in the aspect of what this relates to, it's about change and transformation. Some people really embrace it. I'm somebody that really embraces change. I like it. I like the new energy that it brings. I like the new situations, the new immersion in maybe different skills or different experiences, smells, taste, all of that stuff. I just get such a kick out of it. That and just getting away from what has become mundane and ordinary to repetitive. Let's see. There could be a little aspect to this where maybe we are putting off a life-changing decision, and maybe we're resisting. Maybe we're resisting a little bit too much, and we're not allowing it to actually just happen. We need to go ahead and release that, and embrace those new challenges and new beginnings. So the energy for today, for the positive focus, is the Six of Potions, which is also the Six of Cups. This one's kind of fun. So this could be somebody from your past revisiting you now. There might be a reconnection. It also can indicate that, recalling a time in your life when you really had like just a lot of joy and a lot of positive energy going on. And just kind of going back and just analyzing what was going on then that made you so happy. Is it similar to what's going on now? Do you want to bring more of that joy or excitement or passion into your life? And it's not necessarily a person, but a feeling. And I can kind of relate to that. I had an old boyfriend that came into my life. It's been a few years now, that came into my life, and I kind of thought that maybe I wanted him back in my life, but things had changed. And so while I appreciated that time that we had way back when, and that it was joyous and really fun, I didn't actually want him back. I wanted the joy back, that experience back. So we want to be careful when we have things from our past come into our future, that we analyze what exactly we really are looking for. going back and doing, we hear about people going back to old boyfriends or old girlfriends, and the same things happen again, and they break up again for the same reasons, and there's a reason for that. So when we go back, and it's like there's that familiarity, there's that desire for those good things that were part of that relationship. Understand when we analyze that that's not necessarily the person. We've attached a feeling or an excitement to somebody's physicality that for whatever reason is not going to be able to be recreated. So we need to find that someplace else or discover different ways of bringing that in. So just as if that person comes in, it's just kind of good to use that third eye and just kind of see, is this really that person and that energy combination that works and maybe didn't have a chance to work before, or are we just going to go through and just recreate what we just got done doing years ago or whatever? But anyway, that's that. So that's it for Tuesday. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can send me a message through the Etsy link below. Also, make sure you subscribe. This is a very new page, just bringing this stuff online. So don't shy away just because you haven't seen anybody or very many people buy anything or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff going on offline. I'm just going through and working with bringing this channel online and making things more available, which has been really actually kind of fun. So that's that. The links, I will go ahead and add this to the weekly link that you'll see at the beginning. I do go in and talk about retrograde a little bit more in that video, so go ahead and visit that. And that's it. Thank you, Spirit Guides, for sharing with us your message today, and thank you for joining. Enjoy your day.